We have to hit it. This is such a you embrace and own that queerness in such a beautiful way, and I love it. We got the whole pride flag in the back. I really want to hit on that because there's interpersonal conflict of being the first and also being a woman of color, but also being a queer woman. That is a whole journey in itself as this self-discovery, as this realization, that is so significant, especially in our community, especially being the first to do all these other things. So how did that play in part in terms of this journey? And when did it come to mind the importance to be such a strong advocate for other queer women and people in that space?
It's been I see it as like a natural part of like the self-love and healing journey, because as I made an active choice to love myself, that included getting to know me, and that included loving all of me. And I knew I was queer since I was a kid, but I repressed it because of my family, religion, culture. And when I chose to embrace my queerness, it was also a deep act of love for myself and a deep act of courage. The more that I stepped into my queerness, the more that I realized that was part of my liberation, and that I felt more me and I felt more free. But I also knew and felt how hard and lonely it is sometimes to come out as queer, as a queer mujer in this, in our culture in this time, even though, it shouldn't be, but it is. And I want people to know that their queerness is beautiful and that it's nothing to be ashamed of. And how, for me, it allowed me not only to love myself in a deeper way, but also to love in relationship in a deeper way than I had before. And I also found such deep love and community in my queer community and my allies, my chosen family. And that's something that I will never forget. And I will always want, and I'm working actively to create spaces for queer folks, especially queer mujeres, because there's not that many spaces for queer mujeres to be in community, to share our stories, and for our stories and experiences to be heard and validated. So we started the community. I started this Queer Girl Around the World, which is like a community and a docuseries in the making, where it started when I was alone in a little cabin in Mexico, and I was feeling very lonely. I'm like, okay, how do the queer women find each other, especially in a tiny town like this? There's no rainbow flags. There's I don't know if it's safe. I don't know how people go about it. I'm like, I'm not even looking for anyone to date. I'm just looking for other queer people to walk and talk to. How this project started, where I'm sure so many queer women ask themselves that, okay, where can I find other queer women? Where can I find other queer girls, or just community for me to be with and share and heal together? Now we've traveled in different places and done events and hosted interviews and stories, and it's been such a powerful project.
God damn, kid, why are you so cool? God, it's literally everything that calls to you. You've been able to cultivate such meaningful experiences for yourself and for other people. This is why you're here, girl. This is fantastic to see. I love you just in your I gotta say this again for the editing. I just love that you're in your element. I just love you're fully at 18. You're this is it.